Hello future tech leaders, I am Sindhuja. Based on my own experience, I know that learning the right skills can shape our future. What if I say learning was as thrilled as the tech world itself? There we go. A cloud foundation, that's exactly what you will experience. From day one, you will be immersed in the interactive sessions and expert-led courses that covers most of the widely used technologies in the zone of data science to cloud computing, which brings more light to the life of a techie. I'm so excited to help you and unlock the true potential of a technology. Well, then why to wait? Let's see what it unfolds.
What is the reason behind it, or you're terminating a person? What is the reason for the termination? It is a voluntary termination, or it is a normal termination, or it is a misconduct termination with benefits. All these things we can able to go and analyze what is the reason behind it. What SAP has done? They have created another feature that is called as an event reason. Event reason are defined by the customer or by the consultant, and they are used to define more specifically the reason why an event has taken place. An event has taken place. A hiring is going on. What is the reason for the hiring? It is a contractual hiring. It is a permanent hiring. It is a new hiring. That is the reason which we can able to define in the system. To define the event in the system, we have a reason for it. That is the event reason. When SAP has introduced this feature event reason they have also kept this event reason under the foundation. Event reason is a foundation option. When a manager or an admin changes an employee data, for example by increasing the salary or changing the department, the reason behind this change is normally that an event has taken place in the employee's professional life. Event could be a promotion or a transfer to the another department. These events, reason can be configured from the foundation of them. How we are going and creating the records for foundation of that from manage of the pay structure. Event reason was a flow and the dynamic role. As I told, these are the other foundation objects. All these other foundation objects from where we are creating for manage of the pay structure. When we go further, event reason is a foundation of this and is created and customized by the customer. That is one thing. And another thing is that event reason must be connected with a hardcore event in the system. To create an event reason where we are going into manage of the pay structure. When I want to go here into manage of the pay structure, I can go and see the event reasons. Will be there. And if I want to go and take any new hire, suppose event reason. Here we can take, you can see the event is a name description status. When I go and click on me correction, we can see here the event. You can see the list of the events. These events are the standard events. Whenever we are going and creating an event reason, it has to be mapped to the event, to a particular event. That only it is specifying here that it is event reason must be connected to a hardcore event in the system. While creating it, you can see even this is mandatory field. You have to specify this event is connected with which. Even that we need to take. Also, it also gives an importance that what is the employee status. Employee status is also connected with the event reason and event. That is also the observation we can able to go and see. Once this event reason is created, then We can whatever action which you're performing. Whenever we are going and performing an action, when you go into an employee profile, when you are performing an action, each and every time you need to define what is an event and event reason. Let me go here and let me open a user here to show you. I'm opening an employee profile. Now when I'm just going here into the action, change job and compaction. Here I'm selecting as a job info. Selecting a date here. Now, whenever you are making, suppose I'm making a change in the position. When I'm changing a position, how the system will know that I am changing a position? I have to notify to the system that what is the event and what is the event reason. What is the event and what is the event when I am just notifying to the system? They will understand, and according to that, the changes will be updated in the system. When I'm changing the position here, there are two mandatory fields. One is an event and one is an event reason. One is an event and one is an event reason. We need to specify here what is the event and event is. Now the event and event reason is not showing here. The reason is that before going into the third feature which SAP has introduced. Before that, what the standard behavior was that whenever an end user is changing the value in the record, employee and employee profile, they have to specify manually the event and event reason. That is something always a manual process they have to maintain. To avoid this process, what SAP has done, they have given an option in the provisioning. When you are enabling that option in the provisioning, these two features will not be available. These new features will be removed. Let me show you in the Word document. I'm opening a Word file, which is where we have the screenshot taken from the provisioning. Please let me know if the screenshot is visible or not. It's not opened yet. Maybe it will be a blurred image. I will just expand it for the right. Here you can see. Enable business role for event is in derivation. This option will be there. We need to enable this option. That is the third feature which will go and see that is the event is in derivation. That is the third feature under the event and event design. That is event design derivation. When you are introducing this feature here from the provisioning, what will happen? The options which are showing here, that event and event design, both are mandatory. That will be removed, but how the system will know what is the event and what is the event reason? Although we have created the event reason here, we have created an event reason But we need to, when this system will know this event. This is the action when the action is performing this event. This is the event reason for that particular action. That can only possible when, according to that action, that event reason will trigger. When the event is in will trigger when you have to notify to the system. Earlier, you are entering manually into the system. Now we have removed that option. What will happen? We have to write a business rule that only it is saying that enable the business rule. Enable the business rule for the event is in derivation. We need to write a business rule and we need to call that event reason in the business rule and then assign that event reason to that particular employee related field. Then only you can see that whenever the action is performed, the rule will be getting triggered and the event reason is getting notified to the system. Here when you go and see in the employee profile, when I am trying to change it in the employee profile and the job information, this is the field. I am changing the value for this field. That is the position. And I am changing the value. What is happening? An action is performed. How the system will know that an action is being performed? Because an action is nothing but an event. And what is the reason behind that event? That is an event reason. We need to do it manually. But when we have removed that option, how the system will know? For that we have to write a condition. When we write a condition, that condition has to match with the action which has been performed. The condition and the action should match each other. And when the condition is getting satisfied as per the action which is performed, then the rule will trigger. And when the rule will trigger the event, reason will be getting triggered. And according to that, it is getting notified to the system that this is the event and this is the event reason. And according to that, it will be saved automatically. Earlier, when you click on the save button, it will not save because you have to maintain here. Even an event is in manually. Now, when you are removed it, when you click on save, then also it will not save because they will. First of all, the system will try to identify any. This is the rule. Is there and in the background, they will try to validate it. What is the action which is performed and according to that action? What is the rule? What is the condition which has been defined in the rule? According to that, the rule will trigger and the action will be performed. And a notification that is even an event reason will be sent to the system. And when it is being notified to the system, whatever the action which is being performed, that will be saved automatically. This is the background process which goes on. For that, what we are doing? We are going to creating an event reason. We know what is the event. Even did something as a standard one. That is predefined. These are something we are not creating. This it is already being created by SAP. Then after that, when we are going and creating an event reason, we need to specify what is the event reason for that particular event. And when we are creating an event is automatically mapped with the event. Here you can see. Now when event is it has to trigger. And the one thing is that you have to, if you are enabling this option, then you are enabling the rule conditions. We can write a rule and rather entering here in the employee profile, that is in the people profile manually. we can go and we can perform it automatically, notifying to the system with the help of a business. That is about the event and event reason and even this derivation. Let me go back into the system. When you go here, we can see here there are certain. I have created a table. These are something as a standard. Even that is data change, higher leave of absence, pay rate, termination and transfer. You can see that if a data changes, there is a reason behind that data change. That is a change of the business unit correction status change. Anything can be there. Then if you have a hire, what is the hire? It is a new high contract. You have something which is related to the onboarding that we go into the higher part. Leave of absence means. What leave of absence means? Education, long-term disability. All these things will be the reasons which is coming for the leave of absence. Pay rate change, that is something which is related to the salary increase adjustment, high bonus transfer and something which is related to the cost of living. Similarly case with the termination. When you go into the termination, what is the type of termination? We can look the voluntary termination misconduct. We are specifying the event, these event reason from where we are defining it here in the manage of the pay structure. Where we are specifying the event reason, and when you are creating an event reason, we are also specifying what is the event. What is the event for that particular event reason? Got. These are some examples how we can see what are the events and what are the event reason. Now in the interview, if they want to know how we can able to track what are the standard events for that. All the standard events we can able to go and see, where we can go and see in the pickle center. When you go and see in the T center, this is the standard event. 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 This is where we can find from the pickle center. And how these events can be downloaded. We go to import and export. This also we have seen when we went into NDF object. Import and export data. Here you can mention that is pickle. Here you can select export. Generic object will be select the generic object as a pick list. Pick list values. When you select the generic object as a pick list value, select the include dependencies as no. After selecting the include dependencies as no, we need to click on the export button. Then you click on the export button here. You can see the export request has been submitted. If you want to go and see where we can able to extract that report, go to Monitor Job. When you go to Monitor Job, you can see this is something which we have done like. Now when you click on the download status here, you can see all the pick list values we can able to download. You can click on the pick list value. Is the Excel visible? A new Excel has been opened. Now you can see from the import and export. I have downloaded all the pick list values. I'm just aligning it. It's still in the process. Now you can see this is something, the pick list code which we are seeing. And this is here I can put here as a filter. And here I can search for event. Right. Let me go and search for event. You can see event. You can see all the events will be there. Event the external code. And whenever the values are there, that values will be shown here. Let's go and align it. I'm just aligning. I have aligned it. When I go here, you can see here how it is there. We have the operator. We have ID. We have the code. The values in English. Other translations will be there. That we have already completed if you remember in the on figure object definition when we are going and creating custom MDF. We have completed that topic. That also we can see here. All other languages will be there. In this way, for all the events, we can able to go and track it finally. From there, for finding the events, we can do it from the Pickly Center, downloading from import and export. Got. This is also sometimes an interview question where we can find the standard events and how we can able to if you want to take the summary of all the events from where we can able to go and see, here we have completed this one, that is event and event reason, and even this and derivation, also even reason derivation. Why we are using? Because after creation of the event, reason and mapping with the event whenever an action is being performed, each and every time we need to enter, even to send manually the employee profile, then only the system will be there and only the changes will be saved in the system. To avoid that, we have enabled that option from the provisioning, and after that these options will not be available. That is even an event reason. But how the system will get notified? We have to write a business. Once we write a business from the front end system, in the business we will be calling that particular event reason in the business, and according to that, whenever the action is performed, system will try to validate if any rule is there. If any rule is there, system will try to verify what is the condition in the rule and what is the action is performed. If the condition in the rule and the action is performed, this matching, and then the rule will be set and it will be triggered, and even in event reason will be notified to the system and the action, and the changes will be saved automatically. This is something which is being performed automatically with the help of a business. Same thing applies for workflow also. That is the reason I pause the workflow and I just try to complete the event reason also, event and event reason. These two features are different. Always keep it as a different, only that is workflow is different and event reason is different. Whenever we are writing a rule condition, we should not club both the features in a single system, will not accept it. That is, by default, the standard behavior of the SAP system. Whenever we want to write a rule for workflow, we have to write a rule separately, and event reason, we have to write a rule separately. Earlier, what was happening whenever we are writing a condition, all these conditions, earlier we were also maintaining XML, that is event reason derivation XML. We have discussed in data model that 7 data models are there. Out of that, 3 data models we are not in use. One of the data model was event reason derivation XL. Now in the month of now, but not this release, previous to this release in 2022 now. But this data model, this XML has got deprecated. Now we are not using this XML. The reason SAP has a moved plan to remove this XML deprecated means now there will not be any changes, maintenance for that particular application. It is the end of the life cycle for that particular feature. Why the reason they are ending up the feature? The reason is that everything now can be maintained from the front end with the help of a business rule. Before 2022. Now as customer was having two options, either they can maintain all the conditions in the XML or they can maintain the conditions in the business rule, any one of the area. Either from the front end or from the back end system. But lot of customers, they used to maintain all the conditions in the front end because in the future this will be automatically get deprecated, and that was happened the previous release, that is 2022. Now that they have decided to go for the end of the maintenance for this particular feature, and there will not be any further update modification of this feature. All the event reason, everything will be maintained and configured with the help of a business from the front end, which lot of customers are doing already. Same case with workflow. Also, when we discuss about workflow in data model, we have another data model that is workflow derivation XML, right? Workflow derivation XML is also one of the data model which is there from the provisioning, but as the introduction of the business rule for any action when we are doing performing in for employee profile. For those changes, if the workflow has to trigger, we have to write a condition, and that condition can be maintained in workflow XML also. Or else we can maintain the condition in the business also. As of now, both options are available, but slowly. Now what? What is also happening slowly? Lot of customers, they are also migrating this workflow derivation from all the configurations from the XML to the front end to the business. Also, because in the future again, this workflow derivation will also get deprecated. Already event reason derivation has already been deprecated. Workflow will also. They will also go and end for the plan for end of the maintenance for this particular feature also. A lot of customers, they are already moving all the configurations and the condition which is maintained in the XML for the workflow. Now they are moving it into the front end, that whatever the configuration now and future they will be creating, all that will be maintained from the front end. Whenever we want to write a rule, condition workflow will be separate and event reason will be separate. And then we need to go and create a business rule for the workflow and for the event reason separately and try to test it in the employee profile, how we have tested today for the MDF. Simultaneously with single testing, we can see how the workflow is getting triggered and how the event reason is getting triggered with two different rules. And apart from that, business rule is a conceptual topic where the conditions we cannot able to predefine any condition. We should understand how the rules has to be written according to the scenario, what is being given by the customer we need. We should know how to write a rule. Once we start with the business rule overview, and when we start going and creating the rule, you can also have those examples. Those are the examples of the business rules. When you have some 15 to 20 examples, when you try to explore, you should know how to write a business rule independently. This rule, condition is nothing where we cannot able to buy, hurt or something in advance. This is something where we should know what is the functionality, what is the features which are available in the rule and how to utilize that feature when you are writing a business rule. Customer can give you any scenario. Customer can say that I want a custom field and that custom field should be for a particular country. And when HR admin will go into an employee profile, that custom field should be editable. When employee will go into his employee profile, that custom field should be readable mode. Everything can be controlled from the business rule. Some things are there, some part we can able to do it from the RBP, that is role-based permission. But role-based permission also has a certain limitation. Where the RBP cannot able to control certain permission, that permissions can be done with the help of a business rule. But we should know how to write the business rule. First of all, we should understand the scenario which is coming from the customer and how to frame that scenario in the condition in the business rule. And after framing the condition in the business rule, we need to assign that condition at the right area. That is also very important, and once we assign it, then we need to. Third step is we need to test it. is the rule is working correctly or not. And finally, do not forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel.